Today's video is going to be a lifesaver. Well, I am going to give you some short tips on SAQ and ERQ, which is going to make your life very sorted. I promise. First of all, SAQ is what? It is a short answer question. It is not an essay. So obviously, we are going to walk around the assessment objective 1 and assessment objective 2, which we call it as AO1 and AO2. AO1 is basically testing your knowledge and understanding. Now, what are the command terms for AO1? Outline and describe. AO2 checks your application skill and your analysis skill. So, what is the command term which it tests in psychology? Explain. All right, so it's a combination of AO1 and AO2. Some questions you're going to get from AO1, while some from AO2. They're going to mix and match. Now, why is that? Because they don't want to overburden with all AO2 questions, right? So the number of word count or the time limit you're going to require for explanation question is going to be obviously much more than the time you require for outline or description question. Correct. Now, what is outline? Outline is a brief account, whereas describe is a detailed account. What is explanation? Explanation is going to describe. Last, you have to walk an extra mile because you have climbed up to AO2. So you are going to assign the reason. You're going to say assign the logic. Why is this? All right, so this is all about your command terms. There is some basic protocol which you have to follow when you write your SAQ. The 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 1. Okay, first of all, coming to the don'ts. You never have to write an introduction and a conclusion. You don't have to evaluate the research study. You have to be cautious that you finish off each answer within 20 minutes. Yes, you're not going to require 20 minutes if it is an outline answer. You will require much less time, and the word limit is between 300 to 600. So ideally, an explanation question might require 600 words. All right. Now coming to the basic protocol. So when it comes to the second paragraph, okay, first paragraph, you're going to unpack the contextual terminologies what are required to scaffold the question, because the question, the theory or the concept or the model, what it has asked. So you have to unpack, and whatever is the best way you're going to unpack depends upon your command term. Now, when it comes to the research study, please do not explain the research study. You just need to describe the research study with its aims, methods and procedure and results. Coming to the last part, so that is the L part, we adopt a cell model here. Okay, the acronym model is called cell. So which is concept, evidence and linking. Linking part is something which you should never forget, because that's what is going to pull you up from 4 to 6 to 7 to 9, because SAQ is evaluated in a through an assessment rubric where you will see mark banded level descriptors. So the only trick to push yourself up from 4 to 6 to 7 to 9 is doing the linking part very cautiously. And when you link, you have to explain, not describe, not outline. You have to tell the reason that why this particular research study has been well connected with your question, with your theory or with your model or with your concept. All right. I think if you do this, your life is sorted for SAQ. Now we're going to come to ERQ. Well, ERQ is an essay. It's a journey. It's a discourse. It's an argumentative essay. And in an ERQ, obviously, you need an introduction. Now, if you look into the assessment criteria, there are 5 assessment criteria, A, B, C, D, E. And these assessment criteria, the first one, which talks of focus, is very tricky. Okay, it tells you that if you have to get a 2 on 2, you have to be explaining the knowledge, the problem, the issue. Okay, it's going to check your explanation part of the knowledge issue or the problem, not identifying or outlining it. All right, it wants you to explain. If you identify, you are at 1. So when you do that, now they have asked you to do this, but how do you do that? That's the first paragraph of the introduction. You're going to do it very tactfully. you're going to unpack the contextual terminologies, what is required to unpack this particular question, and you're going to write a discourse. You're going to outline your discourse. You're going to tell your examiner, kisi examiner, I am going to outline my journey with the help of two contrasting research studies, and these are the two research studies. That's all. Okay, so this is what you're going to do in the first paragraph. Now, coming to the second paragraph of your introduction, it is devoted to your theory, where your knowledge and understanding, part of knowledge and understanding 6 marker criteria B is being tested. Now, when you work on knowledge and understanding, you know it is more to do with description. So you describe your theory, give a detailed account of your theory. Please do not outline. All right, you're supposed to describe your theory. When it comes to now, part of knowledge and understanding assessment criteria, I mean the 6 marks, is also devoted to your research studies. How you are choosing your research study, that is criteria C. Whether you have used the appropriate research studies, whether you have used contrasting research studies, or you have used two similar research studies which sing the same tune, so then the second research study is not going to score anything. So use of relevant research study is the next assessment criteria, but how you are unpacking the research study, part of it is counted in this knowledge and understanding part. So knowledge and understanding also checks how well you have described your research studies through aim, method, and procedure results. But there is an explanation part to your research study also, and that you're going to, so the first paragraph of the body, after you finish the second paragraph of the introduction, so introduction is basically one small paragraph and then one big paragraph, which is of the theory, which is on the theory. Sorry. Now, when you come to the body, paragraph number 1. Paragraph number 1 is going to talk about your research study 1. Okay, it is going to well describe the research study with aims, method, and procedure results. Paragraph number 3 is going to talk about another research study. Please do not use the word similarly. Other research study talks about this. There is no similarly here because similarly is a comparative indicator. So please play with your contrast indicators well, so that you gather the 2 marker which is assigned to your criteria E for the organization. The better you use your transition indicators, the contrast indicators, you are going to really do well with your structuring. Those help you to structure. So on the other hand, this research study talks of so and so, blah, blah. So that is about paragraph 1 and paragraph 3 of your body. Now, what is paragraph 2 and paragraph 4 of your body? Paragraph 2 is going to evaluate first. It is going to link the research study back to the theory or the question or the concept of the model, whatever you say. And paragraph 4 is also going to link your research study too with the same theory or concept or model. Apart from that, what does it do? It suffices to the assessment criteria D, which is critical evaluation. And when you have to critically evaluate your research studies, guys, I have always told you this is a pain point for children because they don't do research method thoroughly. So if you have followed my research method, the Padlets which I had shared, the sequence which I had asked you to do, so before you start your ERQ, please concentrate on your research method. Learn each and every terminologies like CRI-CD, which talks about control, reliability, internal validity, credibility, okay, demand characteristics, ecological validity, so on and so forth. But there are other hidden terms also which I have unpacked when I did research methodology with you. So that is why that is my first chapter I do with my DP students, because that makes you very powerful with your critical evaluation, and which is obviously the pain point. All right, so critical evaluation, that is criteria D, which you're going to fit in your paragraph 2 and paragraph 4 of your body. And then finally coming to the last paragraph. If it is a to what extent question, you require a conclusion. And when you require a conclusion, please be sure that in a to what extent question, you are opening up perspectives, you're opening up 2 sides of the perspectives, 2 shades. Okay, but at the same time, you don't forget to reinforce on the stand you are taking. That is for to what extent. If the question is on discuss, it's very tricky. Then the last paragraph is devoted to a holistic evaluation. Now, when I say holistic evaluation, I would say a holistic lens. You have to look through a holistic lens of a real life implication of this particular concept that's discussed. Now, when it is an evaluate question, there is an additional thing which you have to do for an evaluate question apart from evaluating your research studies, and that is evaluating your theory. So if you evaluate your theory for your discuss question, you lose some marks because you're not supposed to do that. You are supposed to give a holistic understanding, right? A holistic lens. You have to look through a holistic lens. But if it is an evaluate and you haven't done the evaluation of your theory through teacup, then again you lose points. So please be careful. This is the overall journey of your ERQ. All right, the nitty gritties. I'm going to share the infographics with you. That's going to make your life more precise, sorted, and you will be super confident, I'm sure. Thank you very much, guys.